look all your fans. Look all your fans showing up. See that? See that love.
Man, I need it.
Yeah, I know, right?
I need it today. Give me all the
I
love.
don't. Maybe we will. Wait a minute. What?
Hi, beautiful people.
Oh, okay. Let's see. That's fine. We can remove that. Okay, remove. No problem. All right.
Hi,
Had a
Jenne.
little.
Hi,
Okay.
Coco.
Look at these folks, boy. All right. Okay. So, Polka Dot Rabbit podcast. As tonight we have the Melinated Music
Yes.
episode, right?
Yeah.
And I specifically called this melanated music because back in the day, they called it soul music and etc like that. But it's kind of the melanated music, the term melanin has kind of been it goes along with soul, non-ether, high energy, all that good stuff. You know what I'm saying? So hey, I made it up, melanated music. God damn it! If you don't like it,
Makes sense.
you can yeah,
Makes
you know where to go. You know what I'm saying? So melanated music episode tonight, and we like to bring in musicians that bring positive, conscious contributions to the music industry. You know what I'm saying? Good vibes, good energy, good message. And tonight we have an individual like that. If you haven't already, please follow, like, and subscribe. Polka Dot Rabbit Podcast. I see y'all in there. Y'all follow me because you followed her because of her post.
sense.
You know what I'm saying? So, um, Polka Dot Rabbit Podcast. If you haven't already, please go to yourbrozo.com. A lot of people always ask me, so how come you have so many different topics, so much different variety? Oh, there you go, right there. So many different guests and etc. All this stuff. I was like, and I've lived an interesting and very diverse life, so that reflects me, and it talks about it in the book that answer any all questions. That's enough for me. I'm going to talk about this very talented.
Echo.
What you say? You said echo. Oh,
It's the
let me
feedback,
see if I can
probably.
echo. Yes. See if you turn down your volume. I don't know if it's going to be me this
Oh,
time
you know what?
on your
You know what? This is what I'm gonna do.
because if you turn the volume on your phone down, you should be good.
Yeah, no, I turn. It's not that. It's the volume of It's the echo from my laptop. So what I'm gonna actually do is I'm gonna turn the volume down on my laptop and turn the volume up on
Okay,
my phone.
gotcha.
So
Yep,
just
that'll work.
okay.
Oh, that's the D.
Is that better, y'all?
Oh, no, it's good. No, it's just the audience was saying that. I'm cool. I don't hear much, but
Okay, so do y'all?
if the
Yeah, that's
audience
what I'm
hears it,
asking. I'm like, do y'all still hear the echo? Let me know.
yeah. If I don't hear an echo, but if y'all do hear an echo, let us know.
Yes.
Let's see. All right, so go ahead. Please explain who you are, what you do, and let the folks know you.
Okay,
Let the
so
folks know why you were selected as a guest on Melanated Music. What is it that you do as a musician that would put you in this position to be able to to vibe on this level? So please introduce yourself.
yeah. Okay, so hello. If you don't know me, my name is Jenne. Now that's Hennessy with a J, but it's dollar signs instead because your girl is about her bread. Okay, remember that. Coin that. I am a singer, songwriter, poet, florist, chef. I'm a multifaceted, multidimensional, being who just loves being creative and expressing myself in different creative outlets. I was invited on this lovely podcast because I make wonderful music and I'm also highly tapped into, myself and the spiritual. And I like to push, just self-awareness, self-acknowledgement, self-love, and really just anything that uplifts and affirms and really holds tight, holds the essence of me and everyone else who is considered a divine being, which is everybody. But
Hmm.
just really, I'm dedicated to living my true authentic expression. I feel like that's pretty much all of our purpose here, to just be authentic expressions of God. So
Hmm.
that's why I feel I was here. You could tell me if I'm wrong. You could tell me if I'm wrong.
No,
That's why I feel like I'm
I
here.
know. I think yeah, you said it more eloquently than I could have put it. So, but yeah, yes, you know what I'm saying. As you already know,
Mhm.
I ain't gonna have no bums and no bums on my show. They got to be high vibrational individuals like you that can can come with it. So I
Yes,
appreciate you. You know what I'm
I
saying?
appreciate you.
Yeah. So let's talk about like your past. You know what I'm saying? Like how you got into
Yeah,
music and like where you grew up and I guess so. What's up with that?
yeah. So interesting enough, oddly enough, I'm not, and it's so funny too because quick sidebar, I had literally just watched the SZA Apple Music Live interview. I'm a fan of SZA. I respect her as an artist, but kind of similar to her, I don't have a singing in the church choir background. I don't have a
Mm-hmm.
classical background. The
Mm-hmm.
most vocal training I ever really got was I was in chorus in my junior year, senior year in high school. I didn't even sign up for it. I think God just wanted me to start using my gifts. So I was like, we gonna make you.
No, no, that's right.
And really, but I've always like loved music. I've really just always loved music. Oddly enough, I started just in the creative realm writing poetry. Poetry was my first creative outlet, creative expression. It's so funny to me. Like I be having to check myself when I forget to, classify myself as a poet because I'm like, that's really what I am.
Mm-hmm.
I've been doing poetry longer than anything
Yeah.
else. But but I love music so much that I feel like it just kind of engulfed such a
Yeah.
large part of my life. I just always like I grew up. I was born in Brooklyn. I really grew up in Jamaican Queens, Jamaica Ave, Queens Village, and my to Caribbean parents. My mom and dad are both Jamaican,
Okay.
and it's if you were raised by anybody who's Caribbean, you understand that they do not always let some are fortunate, but a lot of Caribbeans don't always allot you the freedom to express.
Mm-hmm.
Let's just put it that way.
Kind of
So
conservative. Kind of conservative.
it's really more so like I'm the adult, I'm grown. If you say anything that go aside of what I feel like is right,
Yeah.
you can your ass
It's
leave.
wrong. Yeah.
Like don't even look at me sideways. Like
Yeah.
it's pretty much what it is. So music just started really being like an outlet for me, like for
Mm-hmm.
my feelings, outlet to just express. I would just listen to songs that helped me feel my feelings, pretty much, that helped me process
Mm-hmm.
and go and feel through my feelings, because it was just certain things that I didn't feel that I could speak on growing up, that I just turned to music for. I felt like music started to
Mm-hmm.
describe perfectly some of the things that I was going through. So it really was like a form of therapy just listening to it. And then I
Yeah.
realized I would start singing along to it, and I was like, hey, I don't think I'm so half bad doing it.
Yeah.
Hold
Yeah. Yeah.
on.
Yeah. Yeah. I'm all
Like,
right. I'm all right.
right now I got a little voice. So I like it became this whole thing where, and I've always been such an imaginative kid, like where I would literally I begged my mom to get me a keyboard, which I still have to this day. It's literally in my corner. I begged her to get me a keyboard. Fun fact, never learned how to play it, still don't. But but I'm gonna figure it out. I think it's time. But even though I begged her to get me that, it had the sounds on there. Like it had so you know how some things kind of come with some preset little sounds on there. So
Yeah.
that's what the keyboard had. And
Yeah.
I would have my mom was played tennis, so she had like little random tennis rackets hanging around, and she also my mom has done an array of different things, but she's also had a daycare. So it was a point in time where like some kids were also around, and I would like give them the tennis rackets, and I would make them form a fake band with me. And I
Mm-hmm.
would just play like some of the preset sounds on the keyboard, and we would just like sing along with it and just make stuff up. I at the time I had no
Mm-hmm.
idea what I was doing, but I just felt like it was cool. Like it was fun to me. So I think that's my first like that was my first feelings and imaginings of this is what I want to do. Like I think I was like 7, 8. in my mind, I was just like, damn, I would love to do this like in front of people for real. It was
Yeah.
even really one time, the first time I ever sung like outside of just like my bathroom or when I was playing
Mm-hmm.
around with those kids. Oddly enough, my mom had took us to like a doctor appointment along with her, and
Mm-hmm.
it was like five of us outside in the waiting room, and it's an older gentleman, and I loved Disney Channel back then too. So I was like, it was some song, some Disney Channel movie song, and I was like, yeah, we're in a band, and he was like, oh really? And I was like, yeah, we sing and perform, and he was like, sing us a song, and I just started singing the Disney Channel song, and he was like,
Mm-hmm.
oh, you guys, you sound really good. And I was just like,
Mm-hmm.
thank you. My mom came out like, stop saying that you make songs that ain't yours. Like,
Was it so was it since you so was it all type of music? Was it, was it
man,
dance hall? Was it
it
reggae?
really
Was it
was.
hip
It
hop?
was all kind of music. One of like,
Mm-hmm.
but R&B is really like my mom, and it's something that was a almost like it feels like a ritual growing up. It's one of those things that you distinctly
Mm-hmm.
remember as a child. Like we used to drive
Yeah.
when we were still my dad, he was in the Navy, so he was stationed out the state a lot. So he was stationed at Andrews Air Force Base, which is in Maryland. And before we decided to just move down there with him, we used to drive back and forth to Maryland. So on those drives from Maryland to New York, my mom would just play music like Helen, Whitney Houston,
Mm-hmm.
Brian McKnight, like Lenny Riperton, Teddy Pendergrass, Gregory Hines, like
Mm-hmm.
Anita Baker. Like my mom would play all that, Faith Evans. Like, so I was just like, I love this. Like
Yeah.
I love this. Like Janet Jackson, I loved it. It was really like I loved those car rides just so I could listen to what she played the whole ride.
Mm-hmm.
So
All the
that's the
music.
main
Yeah.
thing that I first, but yeah, even like and oddly enough, like my mom played reggae, but really more so like the dance hall stuff was more so like my dad.
Yeah.
When
Yeah.
he
Yeah.
would come
Yeah.
home,
Yeah. Yeah.
he would definitely throw up the tunes, and but yeah, it was R&B and soul for
It's
the most part.
interesting. I mean,
My mom was
of
young.
course, like we're all like obviously influenced by our parents, but it's like
Mhm,
it's just interesting to hear so many people guess, including myself,
mhm.
that all just when they come back to their influences is like they always say when my parents had it playing, you know what I'm saying? And like
Yes.
and that and that's I still remember, my parents like listening, like my dad, rest in power. He
Rest in power.
he used to love blues,
Mm,
right? But he used to love blues like Bobby Blue Bland and and
mhm,
Howlin' Wolf, like the real blues, right?
mhm.
And when I got older as a musician, I started to appreciate the fact that he appreciated good music. You know what I'm saying? So
Right, right.
I just remember this one time and he was down here and we were at my house and we were putting up some shelves and stuff and we were listening to the blues Jimi Hendrix album. You know
Mm.
what I'm saying? And just like it's just amazing how much our parents influence when it comes to
Yeah,
music.
mom, I'm gonna give that to my mom, and I don't think she even knows, but she
Yeah,
definitely like was the top influence as far as what I listened to,
yeah.
and even now we could go back to if I go back to her house, she has the same big old CD rack full of CDs because it was either while we was in the car or when she was
Hmm.
home cleaning,
Yeah,
getting her groove on, like.
yeah,
And we was going. It was funny because me and my roommate was going through those. She was like, "Yo, mama knew this." I was like,
yeah, yeah,
"Don't play with
yeah,
my mom.
yeah,
She
yeah, yeah.
know.
She know.
Like, she know. Yeah, my mom had the Tupac CD and everything. Don't play with
I know that's right.
her."
So, like, okay, so just by talking to you and people can look at you and see that you have a certain outlook in life. You know what I'm saying? I would say awareness. You know what I'm saying? Elevated, consciousness. However you say. I'm not going to use the word woke, but
Right.
but um, could you kind of talk about how you got into that? The spiritual consciousness and etc.
Yeah. Yeah. I love this conversation. Okay, so it's so funny because ever since I really grew up under a Christian background,
Hmm.
like my grandma, she used to make us go to church every every Sunday,
Hmm.
and My
Wearing the
mom
clothes.
tried to get at it. There was one point in time my mom tried to get. I only sang in church one time. I was actually way too nervous to ever really like sing in front of people for real. Like I didn't really sing in front of anybody myself until I started doing music. Um, but outside of that one time at church, but I always felt like, I was going to church, and there were certain times the sermon and the what the pastor was saying, it would really speak to me. But there was also certain things that I just honestly wasn't resonating with. Like the whole idea that God is just this big judge that kind of just was like, anytime you do anything wrong, they kind of damn you. Like that never sat right with me. That never sat right in my spirit. And so I remember telling my mom one time, I was like, Mom, I don't think I want to go to church anymore. And she was like, and that's not something you say to my mom ain't even go to church as much as I did, but that's not something you say to a Caribbean who grew up Christian. You're like, huh? What do you mean? And I just told her, I'm like, I don't know. I feel more spiritual than religious, is exactly what I told her. But that was honestly at a point in time where I didn't even really have a full understanding of what spirituality even was. But I just feel like it was like an intuitive feeling like, nah, there's more to this. So, but I honestly, because I never had anybody within the spiritual background or who practiced had a spiritual practice to even educate me on, spirituality as a practice. So I just kind of feel like dabbled with the idea, but as far as getting into like an actual practice, it really started with the first like friend that I had who really was open in her spiritual practice. One of my best friends, um, Mariah Joy. She's also a beautiful artist. She she was like one of my first spiritual friends, and so she would just tell me certain things, and I was like, we would have certain conversations. I'm always like good on deep conversations. Like I'm just like, this is okay. This I'm resonating with this, with what you're sharing with me here. And it wasn't until honestly, when I came across, uh, to be real, the Hood Healer. I think
Hmm.
in when did I first come across her? I think like 2019. I came across her page, and this like I didn't know who
Oh,
she was,
yeah,
but
yeah,
I
yeah,
just
yeah.
saw that she was like really sharing all of this spiritual knowledge. And
Hmm.
it's stuff that like I never heard of readings or none of that until I
Yeah,
came
yeah,
across her
yeah.
page. And she was like doing a reading one time for like the signs, and she did one for Pisces, and it resonated so crazy for me. I literally started crying.
Hmm.
And I was
Yeah,
like,
yeah,
whoever this woman is, she's gifted. Like,
yeah, yeah.
like she really is intuitive.
Hmm.
So that made me really want to, but I always felt like I had my own sense of intuition as well. I'm really intuitive, but I just never was trusting my intuition or really listening to it.
Yeah, yeah,
Um, but when I found her page, I just started really tapping in and diving in. When I find something I'm really interested in, I just kind of get engulfed in it, and I'm like, I just
yeah.
dive in. So I just like
Hmm.
started finding books on spirituality. I found different
Hmm.
like links and things, and just started doing my own research. And
Yeah.
I literally, and it also, I was at this point in time, I think it was around 2020. Um, I think 2020 was a major shift for a lot of us, for real. But
Hmm.
for me personally, 2020 was definitely a major shift because at that point in time, I just got laid off my job. And I just was like, well, and then the COVID shutdowns happened. So I'm like,
Hmm.
I got laid off and we can't even really be outside. Like,
Yeah,
so
exactly, exactly.
so I'm like,
Now what?
what am I gonna do? Right. And at that point, I was like, fuck it. I'm gonna invest in a home setup, and I'm gonna start recording music like at the house. Cause I did so much, like I had friends who did music. Um and with I just got a real curiosity to just really start doing it. I was like, dang, I think I want to write a song, y'all. And they like, what? So my
Yeah,
friends like, you can sing? Like, cause that's how like guarded I kept my gift. Like a lot of my
yeah.
ex-boyfriend who I was with for 5 years had no idea that I could sing until I put out a song.
Yeah, yeah.
Like that's how guarded that I kept my gift. So
You,
I was
you
just
know,
like,
it's
yeah, I know how to do
interesting.
this.
Yeah, it's no, it's interesting because like even when you talk about again, it's the same story that we hear so many times. Grew up
Hmm.
Christian, you know what
Yeah,
I'm saying? You know, um, was con- didn't wasn't feeling it.
right.
Went out on your own,
Hmm.
did your own research, and now you know
Hmm.
what I'm saying. And here's a deep thing I'm starting to realize even more so. It's like it has to be an absolute concerted effort slash plan slash agenda, you
Yeah.
know, to have that same formula to keep us away from real spirituality. You know
Oh
what I mean?
yeah. Oh yeah.
And I think about it more so now, like just all the distractions that we've all been dealt with, handed to us since
Right.
day one. You
Yeah.
know, the people the people that know what's going on, they can
Hmm.
concentrate the whole money on making power and getting stronger spiritually, but we're focused on football and watching,
Right.
what do you call it, reality TV. You know what I'm saying? And it's like,
I rarely watch TV anymore.
exactly, because you look at it, you're like, yo, what is this? It's like, it's like when you watch TVs inside a movie and it looks fake, but it's like CNN in the movie. You know what I'm saying? How
Right.
you can put CNN in a movie than have it in real life, and it's the same people.
Now that's I'm like some of this stuff I'm realizing is predictive programming.
Yeah, oh yeah, without a doubt, without a
Yeah.
doubt. There's a Netflix movie that just got put out called, I think, Leave the World Behind. Man,
Yes.
they you talk about predictive programming. God dang, boy,
Yes. That's exactly what that
they
is.
yeah, they shoving it right down your throat. But it's just interesting to me because once you get connected to spirituality
Hmm.
and you really start to become to see who you are and where your lineage and except you meditate, you start to see things, you
Right.
realize that this was all about this is life as a school. You know what I
Yes.
mean?
Yes.
And we're here to learn, not learn that from their school, you know, it's to learn from the school of the cosmos here. You know what I
Right.
mean? You
Yes.
know?
Yes. And that's so like I love that you described it that way. Because when I was like literally when I was really starting diving deeper into my spiritual, like I was fasting, I was
Mm-hmm.
meditating daily, I was in the grass. Like
Mm-hmm.
one summer, I think I lost so much weight.
Mm-hmm.
Like I think I was just like I was purging and releasing so much spiritually
Yeah.
that the physical weight just melted off. Like, and I had a dream, and it was like the in the dream, it was school. It was like I was in school, but I'm seeing like my life play out in school.
Yeah.
And like before I wake up, I remember the last thing I saw was like the teacher was writing 555 on the chalkboard. And I was like, that's the first time I ever seen an
Mm.
angel number in my dream.
Yeah.
And I just feel like that, like really, but I feel like that was such an intuitive message that was like, you about to go through a whole transformation. You're not even going to be the same. And
Yeah. Yeah.
that's exactly what it was. It was like, hey, life's
Mm-hmm.
going to teach you some stuff, but understand that, it's for transformation and evolution. Like, which is
Yeah.
I still go through that.
Yeah, of course. Yeah, you ain't gonna stop.
Yeah.
The interest. It's just that, this day and time when, even though they try to, they tried the boogeyman thing with COVID, and they're gonna try to, the boogeyman, boogie woman, the boogie everything else going forward. But
Yeah.
the reality is, we all contracted to be here, and this is
Right.
the best time to be here because this is when things are really getting popping. You know what I'm saying? Like the old
Yeah.
earth and all that oldness going away, and we
Yeah.
like, yo, all this greatness is coming, and they see all the greatness is coming, so they trying to
Yeah.
throw everything in their mama, knowing they already lost everything in their
Hmm.
mama, and you know what I'm saying, at you to get distracted. You know what I'm saying? And this,
Right.
and this is for, like you said earlier, this is for all humanity. This don't got to do with any. This is all human beings on this planet that
Yeah.
is trying to be, you know, that's trying to be indoctrinated, suppressed. But it just so happens that dealing with melanated folks, our origins run so deep when it comes to just the strength of the cosmos and etc. That they come
Hmm.
after us, because if you and I wake up and we all wake up and understand what we really are, then it's a wrap. Like it could be a
Yeah.
wrap like instantaneously. You know what I'm saying?
I was like, I've said this before. I was like, black melanated people, black people, we have to understand something. If
Hmm.
we weren't, you understand how powerful you have to be for them to literally push an agenda for you to be the
Hmm.
most hated.
Yeah,
like
exactly. Or
like
you specifically.
yeah, like everywhere to go, even like, no shade, but when we deal with racism from other, even like there are people who are, the Asians, that like everybody don't like us. Like
Yeah,
everybody like,
exactly.
nah, like they riffraff, like they the bottom tier.
Yeah,
And it's like,
yeah,
dang, like even like the most um what's the politically correct term? The most trailer trash, trailer park, white person will still look at
hmm
you like they better than you. Like,
yeah. They can have like anybody. They can have one arm, one leg, and one tooth, and they still like think
yeah. They
they
like, ugh.
you know.
You
It, but it but see, it is so it's crazy that you say that. It's just because like,
ooh, ooh,
and you wonder for a while, you wonder why it is, but then you start to realize
yeah,
our story as opposed to his story he told us, and you're like,
right.
no, wait a minute,
Yeah.
we did this, we did that, we the
Yeah.
origins of this and that. You know what I'm
We
saying?
did
Not even on
everything.
like a bragging tip, not even
Right.
just
But
a
just
factual tip.
facts. Yeah.
Yeah, no, ain't no, just facts. Yo,
Literally
what they
everything.
say, the dirt.
We raise the
Yeah.
kids, we cook the
Mm-hmm.
food, we make the clothes, we tend to the, and really, it's like they did us a favor, but they really did us a favor because that's where how we was learning the survival skills for
Mm-hmm.
real.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
But at the
Yeah.
same
You know,
time, it's like, damn, you still gonna treat us like less than a person though.
well, I mean, it's like the thing is this. It's such a short period of time of our amnesia.
Mm-hmm.
In the grand scheme of things. When you're talking about, it's such a short, small time frame. You know what I
Mm-hmm.
mean? In which, you're talking what, like 400 years. You know what I'm saying? Like,
Right.
so 400 years. Out of like, these kingdoms in Kush and all these different places, and they thousands of thousands of years old. So it's like
Yeah.
everybody has their heyday and they got their low day and etc. So
Right.
it is what it is.
It
You
is what
know,
it is.
yeah. You know what I'm
And
saying?
we still
So
push, but I love us for real because no matter what they throw at us, we still thrive. We still
oh
be
man,
beautiful. We still find a way to shine. So
hmm
that's why I love melanated people. I'm like, hey,
yes, yeah. I mean, hey, don't not. Some people might be ashamed to say that. You know what I'm saying? No, no. Love yourself. Self care. You know, self love, especially for melanated folks. You know what I'm saying? You got to help that because I like in my book I talk about that how like because I grew in different places in which you know very racist places, and so
mhm,
it actually took years, literally. Now I think about it now to really combat the onslaught of negative self esteem and all the negative images and stuff, and
right,
that they try to put on you. Then you sit there, you're like, yo, no wonder they're doing all this because I'm this. You know what I'm saying? So
right, exactly.
you know what I'm saying.
I'm really
So
him.
how did you connect? How did you connect? How did you connect your consciousness and your awareness to the music? Like, was it a concerted effort? Was it the poetry? Like, how did those come
No,
together?
I think I did not. I did not intentionally do that. I think
Mm,
I think
okay.
that music and poetry has always been the way that I just express the most vulnerable, authentic parts of myself. And I feel like just the more that I like stepped into, and really, to be honest with you, I wasn't even being that vulnerable. And I haven't been that vulnerable in the music that I have out. But the
Yeah,
music
yeah,
that
yeah,
I'm
yeah.
making now was like definitely where because I realized it would be certain, like I was just having life experiences and I would turn to like music. It'll be days where I'm
Mm-hmm.
literally I come in the room, I'm in my room crying,
Mm-hmm.
just like processing feeling, and I just throw on a beat
Yeah,
and listen to the beat, and I just it's like I start to channel that energy, channel those emotions into song. So
yeah.
I just feel like at this point in time, like music is just literally music and poetry, like these outlets that I use are just the natural outlets for where my soul likes to bear itself. So
Yeah.
it so happens that because I am someone who is aware, and because I am someone who, you know, loves to uplift myself and be real authentic with myself and the people around me, it just
Mm.
translated more in my art.
Yeah. 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 You just being you in it. Yeah. It's like a hybrid. I mean, it's like a,
Right.
it's like a combination of you and your expression of you just being you. And yeah, that makes
Yeah. Cause I
perfect
was
sense.
literally
Mm.
just telling one of my best friends last night, I was like, we cannot, because there's that, there's that thing with creatives where we kind of have that perfectionism to where we
Mhm.
critique something so heavily to the point we damn near never put
Yeah.
it out. And I'm just like, I was literally having a talk with him saying, we have to get out of that.
Yeah.
It's something that I still battle with at times, but it definitely does not have as strong as a hold on me as it used to.
Mhm.
When I just started taking the risk and putting shit out there.
Yeah.
And I just realized, I was like, you know what? I think one of the reasons why we get so scared is because these things are so sacred to us. It started out
Yeah.
as
Yeah.
like when we had no other expression, nowhere else to turn. This is where we turn.
Mhm.
So this is really us
Mhm.
in our purest form. When we're by ourselves,
Yeah.
this is what we think. This is what we say. You know.
Yeah.
So that can be scary because at that point in time, at that point, you start to get into, well, dang, how am I going to be perceived here? Because this
Yeah.
is really me. It's all me.
Me. Yeah.
And I think a
You,
lot of times we also moving in we live in a we put on a mask for people. So when we share
mhm.
something that vulnerable, there is no mask. Like it's just like,
Yeah.
well,
Yeah.
we'll see you gonna
You
take it or you gonna leave it type situation. So
one thing that really made me change my mind when it came to that aspect is that, you know, this world itself is jacked up, and
right.
it's bred a whole bunch of jacked up individuals with jacked up mindsets,
Mm.
programmed mindsets. So, you know, um, what's it? There's an acronym. Oh, FTP. I be saying that now. Fuck them people. FTP. You know what I'm saying? That
Yeah.
acronym right there, FTP. I say that a lot because
Yeah.
the reality is, I don't care what you think. You know
That's
what I'm saying? Like,
actually
you know what I'm
exactly where
saying?
I am with it right now.
Yeah,
Like
FTP. You know what I'm
I
saying?
definitely
FTP.
did. I definitely did. I can't lie. I used to have this kind of just like hyper awareness and hyper criticism with
Mhm.
myself to
Mhm.
where I feel like I was just sensitive to criticism from other people because
Yeah.
I was already giving it to myself.
Yeah.
But
Exactly.
I feel like I'm at a space now where I'm like, bro, I don't care.
Exactly.
I'm
Exactly.
like, I
Exactly.
don't care. I really can't care, bro. Because if I care about whatever people say, I'm never gonna do shit. I'm
You gonna
never
go
gonna
crazy.
shit.
You never do nothing, and you'll
Yeah,
go
I'm
crazy.
never gonna actually do anything that I really want to do. So I just really
Mhm.
got to the point, like I said the same thing. I said, bro, fuck them folk. Like fuck with anyone. Because at the end of the day, I don't do like as much as I love when people can resonate and feel my art and appreciate my
Mhm.
art. I don't do it for people. I've always done it for me.
Yeah.
I wasn't
Yeah.
thinking about people when I was sitting here writing poetry and crying and writing these songs. I wasn't thinking about them.
Mhm.
I was just thinking
Yeah.
about me and what I
Yeah.
was dealing with at the time.
Mhm.
So
Yeah.
it can't
Yeah.
be for nobody else but you, especially if you're
Yeah.
gonna pursue it as a career.
Exactly. 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 You just gotta. You literally gotta do you. You know what I'm saying? Like, and you know what I'm saying. So do you feel as though the more you become aware, and the
Hmm.
more you learn, the more is it changing your lyrics, or is it, is it adding, you think, more substance? How is your awareness and consciousness affecting your lyrics and your music?
Um, I think it's just adding more substance because honestly, I mean, I
Hmm.
cuss, but I don't even like, I never even, and it's not even intentional. I'm just not somebody who like does a whole bunch of the cussing and like I'm not
Yeah,
super
yeah, yeah, yeah.
profane or, what's the
Yeah,
word?
super cussing.
Explicit. Yeah, I'm not super explicit in my music. Like even when I have a sensual or sexy song, I ain't like, a lot of songs now you can't turn the song out without hearing about dick, pussy, pussy. Like you can't like,
Yeah, yeah,
and
yeah,
I'm
yeah,
not,
yeah. I know. I'm
and
like,
I was like that was never really my vibe. Like I mean, every now and then you might hear me get a little sun, but if I do that, it's literally for somebody else because somebody asked me to do this shit. Like, like,
yeah,
but
yeah,
I've
yeah.
never like done that on my own. on my own music that I write for myself. I think so I think I've always kind of just had this like kind of old soul feel when it came to my approach with music, because I write stuff that I feel like resonates with my spirit, and I just feel like I'm an old
Yeah.
soul. But I think it definitely adds more substance because I'm I feel like a lot of the music that I put out already, it just like scratched the surface, but now I'm peeling the layers
Hmm.
back. I'm going deeper. So it's like you can
Yeah.
really
Yeah.
feel me for real.
Yeah. I got you. Yeah.
Mhm.
What do they call it? Getting getting back to the natal you, the original you, as a
Right.
paid as to
Yes.
the layers that this world has made you put on. You know what I'm
Right.
saying? Yeah.
Exactly. And it's beautiful
Hmm.
too because like I would play like some the music that I'm working on from because I'm working on the album currently. And I'm
Hmm.
about to drop a single at the end of the month. So I've
Hmm.
played, some of the stuff from my sister, my other siblings. I have four siblings. I'm the oldest.
Hmm.
But I've played some of this stuff from my siblings, even my like baby sister. I think she's like 6 or 7. She's my dad's child, so forgive me for not knowing your whole age, Miracle. I'm sorry, but but
She gonna get you.
she gonna be all right. Our birthdays are literally a day apart, which is so crazy. I'm like, I'm the oldest and you the youngest, and I'm on the 6th and you on the 7th. That's crazy.
Yeah,
But
that is.
but even my little sis, like the fact that my baby sister could be like, I heard this song and I love it. It's like stuff
Yeah,
my
yeah,
baby
yeah,
sister,
yeah,
I could feel
yeah, yeah, yeah.
comfortable playing this around my baby sister. And they're not gonna be like, oh, why are you playing this around her? Like I have that kind of music that I feel like,
Yeah.
every you could really play around anybody. And
You have integrity with you. You got purpose, integrity. You
yes.
got yeah. That's good
Yeah.
because
But
a
I'm
lot of folks.
still
I'm telling you, a lot of
mhm.
people, like you said earlier, a lot. I mean, I don't know if this is true, but I saw something online today. I think they said that that sexy ragged song was called the best rap song of Ski, whatever that crazy song was, like the best rap
Shit.
song of 2023. You
Damn.
know,
I
I
don't
saw
got
that. I don't know how true it is. I saw it online today. I don't know. Knowing this crazy world, it is
yeah.
true. You know what I'm saying? But
Yeah, it's true.
and
I'm sure it's true.
let me ask you this:
Hmm.
do you feel as though there's a resurgence of good music coming back, or which direction do you
Yeah.
see music going?
I see it's I feel like that's really up to your perspective. I feel like a lot of
Hmm.
people they'll have the conversations of oh R&B dead, R&B is not dead if you really know where to look.
Hmm.
First and foremost, let's start
Yeah,
there.
yeah, yeah. That's
But
so true.
I feel like that because like and it's no disrespect to Sexy Red if that's your I don't I my intention is not to judge your soul. So if that's your how
Hmm.
you go, that's how you go. It's not my
Hmm.
vibe, it's not my taste, but
Yeah, yeah,
if
yeah,
that's
yeah,
what
yeah,
works for
yeah.
you,
To
cool.
each his own, right?
But I feel like it's like that the law of polarity, like it's a balance to everything. I feel like as there are more and more, you know, as there is more music pushing that kind of low vibrational content,
Hmm.
equally so,
Hmm.
there's more music pushing a higher vibrational content. That's why I said
Yeah,
it's all dependent on your perspective. Because if you can just
perspective.
shift
That's true.
through, and if you actually look for the higher music and gravitate towards a higher
Exactly.
vibrational music, you're gonna find it.
Hmm.
I was
That's so
literally just
true. That's
playing
so
so
true.
many. I was just playing a lot of my friends' music in the car while I was waiting for them
Mm.
3 hours on the side of the road.
Are
But
you stranded?
I was playing my
Different story,
music
right?
and I was right, different story for a different day. But I was playing my music and my
Hmm.
friends' music, and I was just like, man, I was playing it for like my friends that was with me, and they're like, man, you got some talented friends. I was like, we're all legends. like,
Yeah, yeah, I know that's right.
we all
Oh,
legends in
that's
the
so
making.
funny. Oh man, that's so
Yeah,
beautifully said that. That's so, yeah. My brothers and I were literally talking about self-esteem. Like
yeah,
even we were talking earlier, just like and and this world will try to always have you being played as the victim with the victim mentality,
right,
as opposed
yeah,
to being like, yo, I'm the shit and that's it. You know what I'm saying?
right.
I'm a legend, like you said. I'm a legend.
Mm-hmm.
I'm the best thing you ever seen. I'm gonna take it all over, and that, and
Yeah,
that's it. You know what I'm saying? Like I remember,
yeah,
it's just interesting
Mhm.
how much this world does not want you to see how great you are. You know what
They
I mean?
yeah,
On all levels. You know?
it is. And I think that's why it kind of also makes it so easy. I think it's prevalent in the way that we're initially programmed to talk to ourselves. Like a lot of the
Yeah.
unlearning
Exactly.
process is learning just how to be nicer to yourself.
Yeah.
And you would
That's so
think that
true.
that was easier to do, but it's like it's
Hmm.
harder than you would think. Like it's really hard.
Yep.
Um,
Yep.
but just knowing that, because that's another thing I said too. I was like, yeah, I'm when I was talking, it was like, you seem like you already, you don't need people to really tell you too much about yourself. I was like, oh yeah, I know. like I innately know. Like, I don't get me wrong, I sometimes play slip up too. Sometimes I have them times where I fuck around, forget. I gotta remind myself, re-remind myself.
Hmm.
But that's all life
Hmm.
is, re-remember, re-reminded, relearning.
Yeah. Exactly.
That's
Exactly.
all it is. So it's just like,
Hmm.
even when I'm low, I'm high. It's how I feel.
You
So
know, it. No, it's a trip you said that because, like, I remember when I was younger.
hmm
Well, when I was in my early 20s, late, yeah, early 20s, I got introduced to Dr. York, and I started reading all his books. And all I was doing was reading, 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 reading. I just got all this information, right?
yeah,
And listening to all this information, I was like, yeah, I know something. You know what I'm saying?
right,
I really got this information. I'm going around debating people. Yo, this ain't it. Look at it. Now, got the big head just because I can.
right,
But then, like later on, you realize just so much more stuff out here, and
yeah.
you just realize you never ever stop learning and
You
growing.
never, yeah. I was
Never,
literally, the greatest teacher is the one
never.
who knows that they're a constant student. So
Exactly, exactly.
just also like, because somebody, it's so funny because a lot of conversations I was having earlier are like coming full circle, because I don't even remember what we was talking about. I was at work and they was like, who humbles you? And I was like, I humble myself before God.
Mm-hmm,
I said, I humble myself before myself
mm-hmm,
and before God. I don't think a man can humble me. And I just mean that
mm-hmm,
as a human being. Like I don't think a
mm-hmm.
person can humble me, like,
Yeah.
because and that's another thing too. And I'm glad that this like is getting out more now too. But it's like being spread. Like, have y'all ever really looked up the definition of humble? It's like, if you
Mm-hmm.
look at it, just to paraphrase, it's like having a low, having a
Yeah.
low value of yourself.
Groveling and
So it's just
yeah,
like,
yeah, yeah,
why
yeah,
would I
yeah,
do that? Why would I lower
yeah.
myself? Everything
Exactly.
around me is trying to
Hmm.
keep me down. Why would I make it
Hmm.
easier for them and do it myself? You know what I'm saying?
You know, yeah, it's interesting to me because even going back to spirituality slash religion, like the more and
hmm
more I studied it, it's like even though all religions to a certain degree are good because it meets people at their levels, I say religions are like shoes. You wear them until they
Right.
don't fit no more, and then keep it moving. But
Mm.
it's
Okay, that's
interesting in
different. I never
which
heard somebody say that.
it's interesting because it's at the this all of the systems in modern day, it's all the exact opposite of what even
hmm
Jesus is like, yo, you know, you see all this stuff I'm doing? Yo, y'all can do it even better than me. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
This,
Yeah.
y'all can do all this better than me. Yo, y'all are gods, you know what I'm saying? Yo, y'all are ill, right?
hmm
That's what Jesus walking around, drinking his wine, flipping over tables, you know what I'm saying? Messing with
Yeah.
the prostitutes, you know what I'm saying?
Right.
You know
And
what I'm
that's
saying?
another thing
You
too.
know what I'm
People
saying?
forget Jesus was hanging with the killers,
Yeah, he was
baby.
a G.
Like,
Jesus was a J. Yeah.
yeah, Jesus has
So,
Jesus has some people
all
with
this
him.
stuff going on, but the mentality is, like you said, the humble. Oh, let's, we'll low as me.
Yeah.
We'll worship. So it's crazy to me, like that this man that was telling everybody to be that God is inside you and to be the best person you can be, they made a whole religion to worship him. You know what I'm saying? It's like,
Yeah.
that's ass backwards. You know what I'm saying? But again, another discussion, another time, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But um but it still goes along with everything you're saying because if you see yourself as an extension of the creator, then
Yes.
you have no you then you ultimately you are going to have that mentality
Right.
of, you know, I am the shit
Right.
because I'm God. I'm a goddess.
Right.
The
Period.
creator has his essence inside me. You know what I'm saying? So yo, what else
Hmm.
can I be except a god or goddess?
Exactly. Yeah.
That's what
It's just
all of our
it's just
ancestors have always said.
moving in your knowing.
Yeah,
Yeah, it's
all
just
of our
moving in your
ancestors have
knowing.
always said that. Yeah, you know
And
what I'm
it's
saying?
and it's even to kind of add to what you said without getting too deep because it's full circle moments for me all around. Um
Hmm.
Even so I was also having like a similar conversation but with like about astrology because one of my friends was just like I don't
Yeah.
understand like I love that more people are going coming open to astrology but it's like people are worshiping the moon because we in this transit. And I was just
Hmm.
like, I feel like as divine beings, we do have that innate desire, whether we recognize it or not, to like connect to something deeper than ourselves. It's like
Hmm.
everybody knows there's something. It's like,
Yeah.
dang,
Yeah.
and I feel like so many people are trying to connect to that without, but
Hmm.
because we've been programmed and a lot of people don't have the proper
Yeah.
tools, they just kind
Proper
of
tools. Yeah.
attach.
Proper guidance. Proper
Yeah,
tools.
they don't have the proper
Yeah.
guidance, proper tools. They just attach themselves to the closest thing, to the things that
Yeah.
feels closest to that. So anything that makes them feel closest to that connection, I feel like they just gravitate towards.
Yeah.
For real.
In this reality, you can get even though it is opening up people opening up different
Yeah.
schools and stuff, online schools and all these different things, but all of our in all indigenous cultures, you know what I'm saying,
Yeah.
and that's where you're going to get the good, you know what I'm saying, because they
Mhm.
pass pass this information down. And also, some of the lodges, in different secret societies, but you're rarely going to get really the good out in this world. You're going to have to go and find
Yeah.
it yourself.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, and that's another thing too. It's like, hey, if you seek it, you're gonna find it, And I think a lot
Yep.
of people they just overlook the fact that the seeking should be within because they just have this idea that God is something separate. Oh God. Okay. I'm sorry, Lord. But a lot of people just
You're in
have
trouble from your sister and God. Woo, you in trouble.
I was like, I don't know why I was talking good. Like, but
I know. I won't say nothing bad, God.
right, I wasn't saying nothing bad. But but yeah, I just feel like I was saying, that there is because it's that illusion of separateness. They're trying to go to other avenues to
Yeah.
find that
Yeah.
instead of really
Yeah.
just,
Going
redirecting back
inside.
to self.
That program, it's interesting. I have a theory in my mind,
Mhm.
that there's like almost like the if you ever seen a Wizard of Oz, the original one, like how the
Mhm.
man behind the curtain was old puny man. But I feel as though like there's this giant illusion machine, right?
Mhm.
That and it had a certain time to completely crank up and be put illusion and just illusion of a fairy tale reality over this third dimension, this reality.
Yeah.
And and ever since, like, I would say in the 70s, but definitely like the 80s, I feel it was just like, because I was born a little bit. I'm born in not early in the 80s a little bit, but
Mhm.
I still remember the 80s. I say that much. But
Yeah.
I just remember now and look back at it, just like it was all like almost like a fantasy world with
Mm.
all the music and all this stuff. And through time, like the machine, if it was on a 10 back then, it's like slowly, you know,
Right.
decreasing. And now all the truth of the world is now being exposed in reality. Because I'm
Mhm.
gonna tell you, you couldn't have told me that all this craziness was happening in Hollywood and all these people doing all this crazy stuff, and you couldn't tell me there was aliens. You know, what I'm saying you couldn't. When I was, you couldn't tell me that.
Man, I knew all that shit.
You know what I'm saying?
I feel like I've
So,
been knew about the aliens. I feel like I've been
mhm.
knew. I'm like, I'm just waiting for them to make themselves known for real. But I feel
Yeah.
like,
Well, now it's the liometer, I call illusionometer, is like
mhm,
since it's losing its power, everything it's is being
yeah,
exposed. Like you know what I'm
yeah,
saying, and you having so many independent resources, of people just put out the information,
yeah,
and now mass media looks
hmm,
like we said, like the movies, like CNN being the movies. That's what it
right,
looks like now. You know what I'm
yeah,
saying? You got to go to Jethro and Leroy to get the real news. You know what I'm saying?
right, right. Yo, it's really crazy because even like earlier, I realized, and I don't really watch the news for real. I feel like I don't like to. It's a lot of depressing shit on the news. I don't like
Yeah,
doing
yeah,
that.
it's bad.
I stay
It's bad.
informed, but all they
Yeah,
push depressing shit on the news all the time. But they had the news playing today, on the TV in my work office, and oddly enough, on Fox 5, and I never knew this was. I didn't know when they started doing this, but like TMZ was on Fox 5. I'm like, when did TMZ start getting aired on Fox 5? Like, but at the same
exactly.
time, it's like, damn, TMZ do be knowing stuff. But it's
Oh
crazy
yeah,
that
yeah,
like
yeah, yeah,
I'm like, how y'all find that shit? But it's because
yeah.
y'all tapped in with the actual okay, with the actual, with the actual news outlet. So it is what it is.
Exactly.
It is what it is. But yeah.
So I want. Actually, let me show this. Let me show this.
Hmm.
I want you to tell the folks where they can find you. I'm gonna pull up your website here and get that on
Okay.
here. Let me see if I can
Oh
get that.
yes,
Oh,
we
there
love
we
it.
go. Oh, look at that. Ain't that something?
We love that. We love that.
You threw this thing threw me off when I was looking at the butterflies. I was staring at it for like 30 seconds. I'm like, oh, and like I started. I thought I was gonna jump into the screen, morph into the screen. I'm like looking at, like look at the butterflies. But
Nah, I love using motion graphics.
yeah, yeah, that's
So that's all
awesome.
that
I
is.
loved it. That's very
Mhm.
good. So yeah, so tell the
Thank you.
folks, I got your website up there. Please tell them, what
Mhm.
I'm saying, what you got going on, where to find you, all that good stuff.
Yes, okay. You could find me at either this website that's right here, okay? It's me, Genesee dot on universe.com, or you can, which is also in my all my bios for my social media. So you can find me on social media at it's me underscore Genesee everywhere. ITSME underscore JENNESSY. But if you want to find me on them platforms, you got to use them dollar signs instead. Because remember, I am by my bread, okay? They just
I know
don't
that's
let me
right.
do the special characters on the social media. So
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
but I have a new single, Motions, dropping. That's what this graphic is actually. It's dropping on the 30th, end of the month. So we're gonna get into the new year, new energy. It's a very soulful, sultry vibe. So I really feel like y'all gonna enjoy it. And I'm also working on an album that I ain't gonna tell y'all when I'm gonna drop it. Just know it's gonna be fire when it come out.
Yeah, all right. Not innate. I have a feeling that I might see you again, and maybe we can even work together one time. We're gonna see, because I'm getting my
Okay,
music
I would love that.
popping back up. You know what I'm saying? We might be able to
Let's do
work
it.
something out.
Let's do it. I
Yo,
would love
that's
that.
it.
Thank
That's it.
you.
That's it. That's it. That's this. Hey, I this was an amazing interview. You know what I'm saying? I appreciate your candidness. I appreciate your grind, your vibe, you know what I'm saying, your
Thank
mindset, you know what I'm saying? And I when I every time I meet somebody like you,
you.
it's
Mhm.
like you're like like one of you equals like 5,000 people.
Oh, that's
5,000
that's
people that are,
beautiful. Ooh,
you know what I'm
yes.
saying? Yeah, 5,000 people that are, not on it, and you got one of you. That's cool. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
That means we got to find what 144, 144,000, 30, 300, no, 43 other individuals so we can
Yeah.
get the 144,000. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? So,
They on the way.
we, yeah, we out here. We out here. You know what I'm
We here.
saying?
They
And they
coming.
know it. You know what I'm saying? And they can't stop us.
They can't.
So, yep, that's it. Again, like I said, if you can go to polkadot rabbit podcast.com, you know what I'm saying? Check out my book,
I
Bicultural
wish I
Living
had the little
Illusion,
DJ thing.
Word Elixir. Yeah, I'm gonna have to add that on there.
Right.
And check the sister out, please, if you haven't followed Polka Dots Rabbit Podcast .com. Also, please follow her. You see all the information. I put all the information in the description as well. So, hey, we are out of here. Thank you very much, Miss Genesee, with the dollar
Thanks.
signs, because you're about your brand.
Yes.
And we shall.
Oh dang! I didn't even know. Okay, yes, I like that. IG.
I know, right? We are out of here, and we'll be talking soon.
All
Peace
right,
and love,
peace.
everybody.